What up, what up, what up, what up, football fans? Welcome to another episode of the Blitz. I'm your host, Big C. This is brought to you by the Game Changers. Y'all know the co-host, Mike Jones. What up, Mikey?
What's up, man? Happy to be here. Episode 44 of the Blitz. How's everyone doing today? Please remember, like, share, subscribe, comment. Feel free to hop in the chat. Links in the chat right now. Other than that, man, what's good with you, brother?
Oh, just working on getting the new studio up and going. I decided that what I got right now is not really working out, so on the bigger and better things. Yeah, it's a pain right now, the setup I have now. It limits my ability to make content when I want to make content. So the new studio will definitely make it easier so I can produce more stuff, and that's only better for the fans, the hundreds and hundreds of fans that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. It's coming along. Hopefully you should have it done, depending on the co-host's availability to come and help the host.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does that mean you're reliant on me? Little old me?
Yeah.
Oh.
The host don't know how to do drilling and cutting and stuff.
Oh,
I could probably handle the drilling. It's probably the cutting of the sheetrock and yeah.
And the taping and I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
But
man.
it's gonna be dope. I'm telling you, it's gonna be dope. I put some stuff in the Amazon cart. It's gonna be real nice. It's gonna be nice.
Oh, you know it's gonna be nice when you got that Amazon cart filling up.
Yeah. The wife, she didn't seem too super pleased, but she wants to do something for her birthday, so
Gotcha.
Kind of works
Gotcha.
itself out. She wants something, so she's willing to give something.
Yep.
That's how the world works. Man, what a weekend worth of football. Of course, there's the game tonight. Big game, huge game. Super excited for that. We would probably done this a little bit earlier if I would have thought about the Monday night game. Usually there's not a Monday night playoff game. This is the first time I can ever remember. But yeah, we probably would have went on an hour early just because of the conflict of interest. But super excited for that game tonight. Who did you have in this game tonight? Who did you take?
Oh man.
I think we both went with the Rams.
We sure did, brother.
Yeah. So we'll see how that happens or how that works out. I know a couple of my picks didn't turn out too good this weekend. I had this great idea and great plan that I was going to go undefeated in the playoffs, but
You lost 3 games, brother.
Yeah. Well, 3 out of 4 is not bad.
I mean, I've only lost 2, so that means.
Well, I mean, I did go on a ledge with the Buffalo game. Let's be real. I mean,
oh, you did, but I'll still take the 1-up advantage. It's all good.
That's all right. There's time.
There's time.
There's time to. I'm gonna redeem myself this coming weekend, and everything is gonna be the way that it should be, and the universe will go back into its normal rotation. And
I don't know, man. This weekend coming up, there's gonna be some wild games, man. There's gonna be some wild games. Ravens, Buffalo. I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah, I mean that has the potential to be the game of the year. Let's be real. 2 of the favorites for MVP going head to head. To see who probably goes and plays Patty up in Kansas City, but Houston did surprise me this weekend. They showed what kind of potential they got, and God forbid if they were at full strength. God forbid if they had Dell there and Stephon Diggs, what kind
Right.
of punishment they could really put on a team. But they surprised me this weekend. Let's start there. Actually, let's start with the Houston Texans and the San Diego. Not the San Diego Chargers.
San Diego Chargers. Yeah, man, they're great. They're great.
Yeah, I mean, they would have probably beat the shit out of San Diego Chargers because they no longer exist. The Chargers, man, I'm telling you, I thought San Diego. Whoa!
What is going on?
The LA Chargers were gonna handle their business and they were gonna beat up on these Texans. The Texans have not looked good to me all. Besides a couple games, they haven't looked like the team that everybody thought was going to come out and be a potential powerhouse in the AFC. I mean, they won their division by default. I mean, one of the worst divisions in all of football. CJ Stroud took a step back. Just a litany of injuries. I just thought this Chargers team was just playing better. Justin Herbert not making the mistakes that he's made in prior years. Nope. Finally got a competent coach and Jim Harbaugh. The defense was playing lights out. I thought the Chargers were going to handle their business. But a different Houston team showed up to play. This is the Houston team that we all envisioned.
This is the one I've been talking about. This is the one I was talking about could give problems with that. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have swore I said I am concerned about Houston's secondary, and then they go and get 4 picks. So I can't say that surprised me. I mean, we looked at the stats with that, and I think they had the second most picks in the secondary of any team in the league, and that was going to be something that they needed to happen, and it happened. And I didn't think it was going to happen. Therefore, I didn't pick the way I picked. Otherwise, I would have picked Houston. I didn't think it was going to come through, but not really a surprise. More upset that I didn't go with my gut and make that pick.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. You did say that, and you did kind of call that. But the thing is that Justin Herbert, he didn't have a huge stat line this year. But the one thing that did jump off the page is that he only had three picks.
Yeah,
he had been better at protecting the ball, not making the costly turnover. So it's not unrealistic to think that he's going to come into the game and protect the ball. Exactly. And he just did not do that. So in my mind, there's a lot of things that get said about Justin Herbert, about how much potential he has, whether he should be put up in this upper echelon in quarterbacks, if his name should be mentioned with the Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jacksons, the Josh Allens, just because he's such a physically gifted guy. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people that complain, oh, the Miami Dolphins took Tua over Herbert. Can you imagine if they had Herbert? I'm telling you right now, I would still take Tua over Herbert. Minus the fact that Tua isn't available due to injuries. As far as quarterback play goes, as far as strictly quarterback play goes, I still think Tua's the better quarterback. Now, I think it's close. I do. I think it's close, and I think they each bring their own unique skill set to the table. But I still think Tua's the better quarterback. Like, if one was the 14th quarterback in the league, the other one's either the 13th or the 15th. You know what I mean? They're that close.
Right.
But this game shows that Justin Herbert doesn't deserve to be in that upper echelon. You can be physically gifted all you want. That doesn't make you a great quarterback in this league.
No, I'd have to agree. I mean, he's been in the league for 5 years, and he's just not where you would picture him being. And then he sets a record which nobody wants any part of, which was he threw more interceptions in his playoff game than he threw all season, which is crazy. And
yeah, that's surprising. You wouldn't envision that going into this game.
Well, like you said, I mean, I had that secondary being a problem, but at the same time, I still went Chargers because of how Harbaugh's had that team playing. Herbert hasn't been turning the ball over. So if he wasn't going to give them an opportunity to do that to them, why would
Yeah.
I pick them? And then, of course, the one game that I don't go with my gut, he comes out and lays in 4 eggs. And unfortunately, you can't be doing that in the playoffs. No,
Well,
sir-ree.
absolutely. And back to the Herbert Tua thing. People say, well, if Herbert had the weapons that Tua does, I mean, you can't compare the weapons. Oh yeah, this year they traded away all Herbert's weapons. I mean, his leading receiver this year was a rookie, and Ladd McConkey's been great, but no one's going to confuse him with Tyreek Hill. But in years prior, Justin Herbert had a large group of weapons. He had Keenan Allen, he had Mike Williams, he had Austin Eckler. So that excuse doesn't work for me. I mean, he did not put up the stats that you expect from your starting quarterback. He was 14 to 32, 242 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, sacked 4 times. His QBR was 13. 13. You can't win. Like he single-handedly lost this game for the LA Chargers. There's no question about it. They couldn't get the running game going because the passing game wasn't doing anything. It was just a pathetic showing by Justin Herbert all the way around. CJ Stroud, on the other hand, was 22 of 33, 282 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That wasn't crazy stats neither by him, but he didn't go and turn the ball over 4 times. If you turn the ball over 4 times, it's hard to win a game.
Right.
Joe Mixon was very good, 25 carries, 106 yards, touchdown. This was the defense though. It was the Houston defense. And if this Houston defense can come to play like that, they can give Kansas City problems next week. So I wouldn't say we're not going to pick games today, but I wouldn't say it's a foregone conclusion that Kansas City just rolls over the Texans. I'm not gonna make that mistake again and overlook this Houston team.
Right. I mean, yeah, you said it. They just couldn't get a running game established, and Joe Mixon for Houston did more than almost double what they did because the Chargers only had like 50 yards or something total for rushing the whole game. And I mean, you're not going to win a game putting up 50 yards unless you're going crazy and you're just making every play down the field and scoring touchdowns. And that just doesn't happen every day. But without any worry about them rushing on them, he couldn't get nothing done, throws 4 picks and game's over, man. It was a good game though. I mean, even though the score was lopsided, I still enjoyed watching it. And I guess I was just more in shock of how that game went because we definitely had the Chargers taking that one, and we were pretty confident about that. So,
yeah, that was one of the games that I was the most confident on, actually.
Thank you. Me too.
All right, the second game Saturday. Okay, we can go to the.
No, I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong one.
That's all right. It's the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game. Now, this game, I really thought this was going to be a slugfest. I thought it was going to be a full field goal game. You know what I mean? I thought this game was going to come right down to the wire.
Right.
Man, was that the furthest thing from the truth? This game was only 14-point game, but it seemed like the margin of victory was even larger. The Ravens manhandled the Steelers. This game wasn't close. The Baltimore Ravens look like one of the best teams in the league. They steamrolled these Steelers. And I think the Steelers got a lot of questions to answer this offseason, but we'll jump into that in a second. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry had a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
A phenomenal game. But it was all because of Lamar Jackson. So, people say, oh, Josh Allen, this is why Josh Allen should be the MVP. He doesn't have Derrick Henry. Well, right. I'm going to use Derrick Henry as an excuse why Lamar Jackson 100% deserves the MVP regardless of Derrick Henry.
Right.
The first couple carries, Derrick Henry was getting stuffed 2 yards, 3 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar Jackson seen this, and then throws the ball for a first down. And then he started keeping the ball. Something like the next 10 plays, he either ran or threw the ball.
Right.
After Derrick Henry had a 2-yard run, a 3-yard run. After that, because of Lamar Jackson's scrambling ability, because of his running ability, that defensive end or whoever was there and the option, they're running the option. Whatever player was there on the Pittsburgh side, on the defensive side, had to decide who gets the ball. And they're so confused, like, does Lamar got it? Does Derrick got it? By the time they realize that Derrick's got it, he's 6 yards down the field. And he just killed them like that all game. Because Lamar Jackson is such a phenomenal athlete, such a phenomenal runner with the ball. People forget that the Ravens' Pro Bowl wide receiver was absent from this game. Flowers didn't even play.
Mm-hmm.
And they completely dominated these Steelers. And Derrick Henry was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. 26 carries, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns. But it all starts with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, 16 of 21, 175, 2 touchdown passes.
Mm-hmm.
Also had 15 carries for 81 yards himself.
Yep.
Man, that two-headed monster it's almost impossible to slow down or stop. You got to pick your poison and hope you guess right.
I mean, it's
a guessing game.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be nice to be able to just sit back there. Well, is he going to pass? Well, you ain't got to worry about him passing. You got to worry about if he's taking off or if Henry's taking off. And like you said, he definitely opened up everything for Henry to get 186 yards. That's phenomenal. They just, how do you stop that? I mean, you can't cover everybody.
You got to guess right. You got to guess right
every time.
Yeah, because you're going to have someone that's in a position that I can either go after Lamar and try to tackle Lamar, or I can try to tackle Derrick.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guess wrong, the other one's gone.
But you're right. That's why he is the MVP, because not only does he maintain his quarterback statistics, he has the statistics of another running back. So he's putting up double the statistics. And yeah, Josh Allen can run. Josh Allen has a fair amount of rushing yards, but Jackson does it every week. Every week. Every time they have a good game, Jackson's got over 50 yards. He's got a decent amount of throwing, which you look at his passing stats and it doesn't seem that big. Sometimes you're like, oh, he didn't really do much. But then you look at that rushing line and there's your answer. He's got, I don't know how many times did he go over 100 yards this year. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This team is I worry about whoever's got to come up against the Ravens. And unfortunately for Buffalo, that this week is going to be, I think it's going to be a hell of a game.
Well, these Buffalo fans got their chest poked out. I hope they can keep that confidence when this weekend comes around, because they're not in for a short day. This isn't going to be the Denver Broncos. This isn't.
No.
You're in for a tough day, because I don't think anybody believes that if you had just an average quarterback, maybe even a good passing quarterback, but lacking the rushing ability of Lamar Jackson, I don't think anybody believes that this Pittsburgh Steelers defense is giving up 182 yards to Derrick Henry.
Right.
I mean, Pittsburgh's just not built like that.
Mm-mm.
And, Pittsburgh, we'll focus on Pittsburgh for a second, even though they're eliminated. Pittsburgh is going to have to move on from Russell Wilson. He's not the answer. He's not. I mean, Russell Wilson has the ability to get you maybe a playoff spot like he did this year. But for the last several years, this is where the Steelers fizzle out. Mike Tomlin's got this record of not having a losing record, getting to the playoffs, this and that. It's almost detrimental to the team, because this defense is, Mike Tomlin has this defense so good. They're so good, but they're not good enough to win the whole thing. But they're not bad enough to get a top draft pick to get a quarterback.
Right.
a game-changing talent from the draft.
Right.
So then you're stuck picking up whatever you can find in free agency at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they had Justin Fields and, Russell Wilson. So next year, I expect the same thing because you're not going to have an opportunity to get one of the top quarterbacks.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean,
so who do you look for next year? I think either Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers next year. Now, will one of them be better than what Russ was? I'd have to assume so.
Yeah.
I mean, Kirk Cousins had a hard time with turnovers this year. Aaron Rodgers, he took a lot of criticism for his season this year. But if you look back at his stats, it wasn't as bad as what was portrayed. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
I think if you add Aaron Rodgers to this team, they would have had a better shot than what Russell Wilson gave them. This Pittsburgh team also need to find a true number one receiver because George Pickens ain't it.
No.
George Pickens is he's a phenomenal talent. He has talent. I've seen him make some crazy catches, but he lacks maturity. That's for certain. He's definitely one of those divas, and he's very inconsistent. Just last week, he had dropped 4 or 5 balls. Every pass that was thrown to him, drop, in a must-win game. He was terrible. So they definitely gotta figure out the quarterback position moving forward and find themselves a true number one wide receiver, in my opinion, and hopefully that can fix some of the problems with the Pittsburgh Steelers because they have one of the best coaches in the league. They got one of the top defenses year in, year out, but they look grossly undermatched against the Baltimore Ravens. And you got to expect that the Bengals will be better next year. So you're in a division with the Bengals and the Ravens. You're going to have to improve, or Mike Tomlin's success rate of having a winning season is going to go out the door.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with you on the Russ situation. That's just he just doesn't have it anymore. He's up there in age, and he looked good when he came in, but a lot of that was, I think, kind of masked by they were winning and Pickens was making a lot of catches and making that easier, and they were scoring enough points to win. And they come into this game and they put up 7, and then it was like once Baltimore realized, oh, they put up 7 points. Oh, we're going to go out there and put up 7 points. And it just looked easy. And then we talked.
I don't think the Steelers scored first.
No, I don't think so either. But I'm saying
I think that it was 14-0 before it might have been 21-0.
Yeah, it was up there a little bit, but I'm saying they start scoring and Baltimore has another gear still. And we talked about if they should start Fields. I didn't even see Fields. I think Fields was out there one play, maybe more, but he only had one. He only had one pass attempt, and I think that was one of their biggest downfalls because we had talked about maybe they should have some packages in there for him. Yep. They didn't give, they didn't try to take advantage of the defense having to look at 2 quarterbacks. You didn't give him that advantage. Russ hit you deep, and then Fields he's more mobile. He can do a little bit more, and you didn't see that. So I think they really gave up an opportunity there. Not that they would have went anywhere, to be honest, but I don't know. They just didn't give themselves the best shot in that game. I don't really feel like, but yeah, it's just too much. I do think they need to move on from Wilson, and they have a good defense, and it could be a lot better. And it could be a lot better with the right coach. I don't know. I like Tomlin though. I think he's a good coach, but maybe, it's one of those things where you're somewhere for so long that, maybe it's just time to change up your scenery. You know what I mean? Try something different.
I don't necessarily think it's that because, I mean, I just think it's they're good enough, but not good enough. They're good enough to make the playoffs or not have a losing record, but they're not good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
And you're bad enough not to win a playoff game, but you're not bad enough not to get a top pick.
Right.
You're just stuck in that mid-range, and it's very hard to get out of that. It's very hard. I know Miami was in that range for quite a few years, finishing 8-8, 7-9, 9-7, just a bunch of years, and we could never, like, we struggled to lose enough games to get up there and get that number one pick, but we weren't good enough to make the playoffs or go on a playoff run. And that, I'll say it a million times. If I'm not gonna be great, I'd rather be one of the shittiest teams in the league, because one of the shittiest teams in the league has the potential to get up to a championship team more than one of those teams that still hangs around in the mid range.
Right.
It's very difficult to get a game changing superstar in those middle picks.
It definitely doesn't pay to be mediocre, that's for sure.
All right, and then we had Sunday's games. We had the Denver Broncos traveling to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills.
And for a few minutes, the Broncos had given me some hope. I was like, oh, okay.
You mean like the first 3 minutes?
They jumped out to a 7-0 lead. That's what I was talking about.
And then it stayed at 7.
Yeah, it stayed at 7.
Oh, man.
The Broncos defense played pretty good football. They kept Buffalo within reach for a lot of this game.
Yeah.
It didn't really get out of control till early in the fourth quarter. That's when it was pretty much a wrap. I don't think it was much of a surprise that Buffalo won this game at home. Bo Nix is a young quarterback. He had a great year. I don't think anybody expected him to have the year that he had, but he lacks a certain a control of his game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, he's constantly taking the ball and scrambling out the pocket. And I'm sure that's to the game plan lots of times, but you can't tell me that a quarterback that's on the run constantly is as accurate as a quarterback that's sitting in the pocket, able to set his feet. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I think that's a mistake that the Broncos, the few games that I watched this year, it was a constant thing. It's not like he's running for his life that he has to do this.
Mm-hmm.
He takes the ball and he rolls out.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm sure that opens up some of the passing game for him. You know what I mean? The linebackers and the safeties and the corners have to, there's a lot more. It's a lot more playgroundish. You know what I mean? Like, you got to pay attention where your receiver's going, because they're not running traditional routes per se.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's going to lead to passes that aren't on the mark or mistakes, or I don't know. I don't like that style of football personally. It's cool to roll out and do those plays once in a while, but to have every play a roll out, I don't.
You need somebody that can stand in the pocket sometimes, at least. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, it's just like you said. You're just more accurate. You're not on the run. You're not running from something while you're trying to throw it 20, 30 yards down the field. And I think it makes more sense to at least be able to stay in the pocket when you have an open pocket. No reason to roll out if you got a pocket. I mean, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, I mean, and this Denver Broncos gave this offense numerous opportunities. And then, it's only a matter of time before Josh Allen. Cook has been phenomenal for the Bills this year. Very underrated. Everybody wants to say that Josh Allen doesn't have weapons. James Cook is a very up and coming running back. I would say he's probably a top 10 running back in this league.
Mm-hmm.
He's phenomenal. But yeah, you weren't going to hold the Bills down all day. It's just not a real life thing. What I didn't like, though, and it's not because it cost me a couple $1,000s neither.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go.
But yeah, I had Bo Nix throwing for 175 yards and 2 scores. And he was at 140 yards and 1 score at the start of the fourth quarter, and the Buffalo Bills just kept throwing the ball. You had the game. You had the game won. The game was over at this point. There was no coming back. They were down multiple scores. But you continued to throw the ball. And Josh Allen actually took a couple big hits because they were doing this. But I just didn't get it. It's like they were trying to run up the score. And I don't really like that. I think it's some sucker stuff. And I just don't get why you'd put your quarterback at risk to do that.
Yeah.
Like they would have felt real stupid if Josh Allen would have caught a concussion or something. But then again, it probably got swept under the rug like his last one did. So,
yeah, I thought they were going to at least – I would have pulled them like 2 possessions before. I mean, it don't hurt. Denver had only put up the 7 points at the beginning. They haven't done anything since. Like, you're just – why risk it? You can always put them back in. I didn't get that either. It seemed like they were attacking. I mean, I needed Allen to get me a rushing touchdown, and he got me my yards, but I needed a rushing touchdown from him, and then I needed a Von Miller sack for like $800, but that didn't happen. So I was like, oh yeah, they left him in, but I was like, why are they leaving him in? I didn't think
I wasn't mad that they left him in, and I wasn't even mad that they threw it a couple times. What really started to get on my nerves when you had taken like another 5 minutes off the clock already.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're down to like 7 minutes. You're up 3 scores, and you continued to throw the football. Like they threw the football all the way till there was 3.5 minutes left.
Right.
Like almost on every other play. And it's like, what are you doing?
Playing like they were down.
Yeah. And they're stopping the clock at the same time because all the passes that they completed, they threw incompletions too.
Yep.
So you're being counterproductive because you're stopping the clock when the clock could be running. All those incompletions could have been 45 seconds off the clock. So, I mean, I just didn't get it. I thought it was a little bit Bush League. I didn't really respect that. I felt like they were trying to run up the score a little bit. Bo Nix didn't have a terrible game, but not a good enough game in the playoffs to beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. He was 13 of 22, 144 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 68 quarterback QBR, and 93 rating. He also had 4 carries for 43 yards. They couldn't get anything else going on the running game though. Bo Nix was their leading rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Cortland Sutton was their leading receiver, 5 catches, 75 yards, no touchdowns. Troy Franklin had 2 catches, 54 yards and a score. They did get a fake punt in the game. That was a nice play.
That was pretty nice.
Sean Payton's known for trying to steal possessions in the biggest games of the year. Y'all remember when he did an onside kick in the first or the second half of the Super Bowl?
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Broncos can have a bright future. Like I said, I'd like to see Bo Nix not leave the pocket quite so much. I think they really need to work on that. Josh Allen, another fantastic game. 20 of 26, 272, 2 touchdowns, 87 quarterback rating, 135 overall was 87 QBR, 135 rating. Cook, 23 carries, 120 yards and a touchdown. Allen, another 46 yards on the ground. I mean, Josh Allen had a great game.
Mm-hmm.
An MVP-esque game.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't as good as the MVP's game.
No.
He wasn't as good as Lamar Jackson was.
Sure
of his career. And next week, we get that head-to-head matchup, baby, and it's exciting. It's going to be a great game. That is the game of the week. I don't care what other matchups there are. That's the game that you need to tune into.
They should just put the MVP belt right in the center on the 50-yard line.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, for the thousands of attendants and the millions watching home and TV.
For the first time ever, they will be playing for MVP.
Yeah, I mean, this game, I don't know if they've already voted for MVP. I don't. If they haven't, you gotta imagine that this is gonna have some
Implication.
influence,
Oh yeah.
some influence on the voters. But I'm not sure if it's already been voted upon. I'm not
Imagine it
sure.
probably. I think they do vote on that before the playoffs actually start.
Yeah, you would think that they would have to, just so you can't be influenced, because
Yeah.
it's not supposed to take into account. But people are human, and you know what I mean. Does
Yeah.
anybody know when they vote for the MVP? Is it? I know they don't announce it till later on, but has it already been concluded who's the MVP?
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
But yeah. Buffalo Bills cruise to victory. We all seen it coming except me. I picked the Broncos. I mean, I seen it coming. I'm not gonna lie, I seen it coming. But what a shout out to Ty Johnson, their third string running back. Though, did you see the catch in the back of the end zone? How he kept his foot from hitting out of bounds.
Yep.
That was an absolute fantastic catch. And I mean, it's got to be some luck not your foot to hit. You know what I mean? But
Oh yeah, for sure.
damn, your
watched
third
it.
string running back, bro.
What? I watched it like 3 times. I was like, oh man, that is crazy.
I'm still not positive that it didn't hit.
Didn't have enough to overturn it then, at least.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I can't. Like I said, I'm still not certain that it didn't hit, but hey, man, good for him.
Good for him. Good for him.
Then we had the Green Bay Packers traveling to the Link. Actually, I'm not even sure if it's called the Link anymore. To Philadelphia, West Philadelphia,
Bull raised.
to visit the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Some of the worst fans and all. I'm gonna leave.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I'm gonna leave Philly people.
Yeah,
They
you
booed
might
Santa Claus before, bro.
Yeah, you might want to.
They booed Santa Claus. Man, these Philadelphia Eagles are gonna be tough to deal with. They absolutely destroyed the Packers. The final score is 22-10. But
It was so nonchalant. It's just
the Eagles definitely took off the gas. Saquon Barkley had probably a 70-yard touchdown at the end of the game where he got past the linebackers and safeties and just slid.
sat down.
What a classy dude. Saquon Barkley.
What an idiot. Come on. Everybody's thing. He's an idiot. I've been sitting here defending this dude, but man, he's just pushing it too far. You're a damn fool. Damn fool. I'm all for being about your team, but you know what? You got to eat too, big dog. Stop being such a, I don't know. You're just too fucking nice. And I'm sorry about my language, but I can't stand it. Should have had a record this year. Could have had a crazy game. We're not even gonna get into it. Saquon Barkley, shut up. Just shut up. I'm tired of it.
Jeez,
Tired of it.
I can't believe this.
I know, right? Well, it's sickening. Like, I'm all about being good. I'm all about being about your team, but there's a point where you gotta come on. I want to see it. I want to see the record broken. I want to see the record break. You have an opportunity. You don't take that, and then for him to do that, like, he gave up 40 yards on that run at least.
Yeah,
classy, but stupid.
I mean, usually even most running backs that slide and do the right thing because they can take the knee and the other team doesn't get the ball back, blah, 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 really ends the game. Most of the guys are still going to run it for another 50 yards and then take the knee. They're going to pick up them yards first. Is it stupid on Saquon's part? I mean, I guess we don't know. I mean, he's showing what's important to him. Winning's important to him. But you're allowed to win and have some style points too. I don't see this as the same as the Buffalo Bills throwing the ball when the game is over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he ran the ball. There's no one to tackle him. Keep running the ball. run into
Right.
the end zone. If he scores on that play, it doesn't give the Packers any more shot of winning the game.
No.
Yeah, could the Eagles take the knee after that and the game's over? Yeah, absolutely. By him scoring the touchdown, does it put the ball back, give the ball back to the Packers? It does, but they're also down another score.
Yeah.
And by the time he did this, we're within 2 minutes of the game being over. I just don't know if he had a lot of bad years with the Giants
Right. Sure did.
where he didn't have mind-blowing stats. I just don't know if he realizes that he could, and who knows, Saquon could suffer an injury in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road. He's hurting his opportunity to put up big numbers for maybe a Hall of Fame trip someday.
Right. Just his
And
legacy.
I would have to believe that making the Hall of Fame is important to Saquon. And he's not guaranteed a long career, like I said. But what would guarantee you going to the Hall of Fame in some aspect is being the all-time leading rusher for a single season
Yeah.
that you bypassed by putting up a 200-yard game in the playoffs. I just don't think he realizes the damage he could be potentially doing to his legacy.
Yeah. I mean, he
And
might not.
he is such a good dude that I wouldn't want to see his legacy affected, but I mean, you're right. Sometimes you can be a little selfish, brother. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't complain. I can't fault you for not risking injury and playing week 18 when the record was on the line. Was it best for your team the rest? Sure. But this one right here,
Eat.
you could have took that to the house.
Absolutely.
You could have took that one to the house.
And it's so he just hurts everything. He's hurting his legacy, which cool, it's his whatever, but I want to see. It just sucks because you know what he's capable of. You know it could have been something and it's not over just a choice. And then it's like he's hurting that. He's hurting his pockets too. I mean, those extra stats and all that just gives him more whatever for when it's contract time too. So
Yeah.
I mean, people are going to obviously understand that he did that and whatever, but I don't know. I feel bad. I feel bad. I shouldn't feel bad because obviously he doesn't, but damn, I must be a totally different person because if it was me, I'm eating. I'm getting everything. If I reverse hurdle somebody mid-season, oh, I'm going. I'm going. Because this might be his highlight year that he ever has. It might be the biggest year he ever has.
Well, like I said, I told you before, there's a good chance that it is.
Exactly. You don't know.
Nobody's ran for 2,000 yards more than once. Nobody. Now, could he be the first person that ever does it? Absolutely. He could be. But who knows?
Who knows?
Jordan Love struggled. This whole Green Bay Packers team seemed like it got hurt yesterday.
Yep.
Dobbs went out. Their leading receiver went out with an injury. Didn't come back. Numerous offensive linemen. I think they said his top 3 targets were out. They were dealing with so many injuries. It was going to be hard for him to win this game. Jordan Love struggled. 20 of 33, 212 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's a rough stat line. Josh Jacobs had an all right game, 18 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown. And none of the receivers really.
Yeah, none of them broke 50 yards. So
yeah, and then even on the defensive side, they were dealing with injuries. And they had no answer for Saquon. This Eagles team just ran all over him. Jalen Hurts only completed 13 passes on 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. Saquon 25 carries, 119 yards, no touchdowns. No touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy because you had another 40, 50 yards to that stat line with a touchdown. It looks completely different.
Yeah, he screwed up mine. I had him getting a touchdown on my parlay. He screwed that up. So tonight's game don't even matter. Ugh. Stupid.
Oh, that's why you're salty. There we go.
Shut
The
up.
truth will set you free.
Oh man, I didn't even realize that.
The truth shall set you free.
Saquon, you might be eating healthy, but I would have been eating healthier. You got that touchdown, mofo.
Don't you care about my fantasy stats?
Yeah, don't you care, man? What the hell's wrong with you? Dickhead. You better run that damn ball in a fudging end zone.
And then that takes us to the Commanders and the Bucks.
The Commanders.
Another game that I didn't pick correctly.
I didn't either.
I'll tell you what. I thought that Jane Daniels was going to be overwhelmed first playoff game on the road against a gritty Tampa defense. This kid, Jane Daniels, is fantastic. He is fantastic. This kid is the second coming of Lamar Jackson. Like, he looks like Lamar Jackson taking the snap and rolling out to take off with the football. He looks like Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if he's quite the athlete or quite as fast as Lamar is, but he looks damn good doing it. And he might be a better passer than Lamar. So that puts him over the top, in my opinion. The capabilities of this kid moving on in the future, this kid is going to be an MVP someday.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be an MVP. Without a shadow of doubt in my mind, he's going to be MVP. He was 24-35, 268 yards and 2 touchdowns passing, 80 quarterback RQBR, 110 rating.
Mm-hmm.
He also had 13 carries for 36 yards, which could have been more. It could have been. But he was in control of this game. And when the Washington Commanders needed to score to win the game, he drove them down the field and they got it.
Yep.
He was fantastic. I didn't think they was going to be able to hold the Tampa offense 20 points. Baker Mayfield had a fantastic season. I expected more from the Bucks. Baker didn't have a bad game. I'm surprised they only threw the ball 18 times though.
Yeah.
It was a little surprising to me.
Yeah, and
especially how good Baker was.
Yeah. I mean, he kept you in most of the games all season. Why is he only throwing the ball 18 times?
Well, when you completed 15 of them too.
Yeah, 15 of 18. That surprised the hell out of me too. They had Bucky Irving going too, so it was like they had the run game.
Well, he didn't have a crazy game though. He was only 17 for 77, and one of those that was a big run.
Yeah, that's true.
He had a 20-yard run added on there. I mean, if you take that 20-yard run off, he's under 4 yards of carrying.
That's true. But I mean,
so if you're struggling in the rushing game, why isn't Baker throwing the football?
I don't know. He threw it to Mike Evans.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Evans had 7 catches, 92 yards, and a touchdown. But I don't get. I feel like the coaching let them down. I feel like Bulls let them down.
Mm-hmm.
If your quarterback's 15 of 18 at the end of the game and you lose, what's your excuse? Why didn't you put the ball in the air to get first downs and move the ball more? Why? It makes no sense to me. I put this loss on Bulls. Did you see the run that Baker had? He had like a 17, 18-yard run. Like he ran over linebackers, safeties, and that was at a point in time where this Tampa offense was struggling a little bit. Like they're struggling to move the ball. They had lost the lead, and he just put this team on his back and bulldozed people, and then drove them the rest of the way down the field and threw a touchdown pass. Like Baker is a different dude, man. He's got the heart of a lion. I don't put this loss on Baker Mayfield whatsoever. This Bucs team will be back next year. Hopefully they can retool a little bit and give, like I said, Mike Evans is a fantastic piece. I don't think Mike Evans is a true number one anymore.
Right.
But I think if you go get some more weapons for Baker, this team has the potential to get better. As for Washington, who will they face? They don't know who they'll face yet.
I think I think they do, don't they? Let's see. Yeah, they got Detroit.
Well, not if. Oh yeah, because they'll be the lowest remaining seed anyway, right?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, they're gonna have a tough time with Detroit next week. Detroit's offense is out this world, but I'm excited to break this team down in the offseason. I'm excited to see what this team can add because they got a quarterback on a rookie deal. They're going to have the opportunity to build a fantastic team around him and add a bunch of talent. And I expect this Washington team to be a true, legit Super Bowl contender next year. Not a playoff contender. I'm talking Super Bowl contender if Jane Daniels comes back even remotely, even a smidge better.
Right.
Which I believe this kid has the work ethic to come back and be even better next year. They're going to have the opportunity, because his contract is a lower contract, to put a litany of weapons around him, and this team is going to be a contender next year. Mark my words.
Not a pretender. Yeah,
mark my words. Mark my words.
Just what he's done, man. Rookie season, he's gonna obviously win Rookie of the Year and get his first playoff win in his first year on the road. I mean, that says a lot. That says a lot. Granted, I think the Bucs made some bad play calls and it could have went the other way very simply. But hey, man, can't argue. Game's over. They won. So, yes, sir. I don't know what you're gonna do about Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for miracles. You know what I mean? Like,
for real.
But I mean, you got to play the game though.
Crazier stuff's happened.
It has, it absolutely has. So we shall see. But I'm telling you, this team's going to be a very exciting team moving forward. If you're a Washington Commanders fan, you got some good times ahead of you. Trust me when I say it.
Lucky bastards.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Some people just get that generational superstar that fall into their lap at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
My team's been searching 20 plus years for a replacement to my childhood idol, and I'm 40 something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for real.
So there's those game. Any news on the coaching tip? I seen the Cowboys are not bringing back Mike McCarthy now. What a strange situation that is.
Yes, sir.
So now he's free to sign with the Bears.
And they're parting ways, man. And McCarthy went 49-35 from 2020 to 2024, 3 playoff appearances, 2 NFC East championships in 21 and 23. They just couldn't get it done in the playoffs. I mean, that was their biggest thing. And then it's, but Dallas hasn't been able to get it done in the playoffs for a long time. So I can't really even say that's on him. It's like the Dallas has a curse. It's like they get to the playoffs and dumb shit happens. But I don't know. Maybe somebody needs a coach, right? Somebody needs a coach. I don't know who Dallas is going to bring in, but
yeah, I'm not bothered by them moving on. I just think it's weird how they, like, if you weren't a serious
They blocked his interview first off less than a few
Yeah, if
days
you weren't
ago,
serious about bringing him back, why did you go through that? You know what I mean? It just makes you kind of look like a dick.
and maybe he just didn't
But
want to be there.
well, no, because I think he's gonna interview for them other jobs. So
Oh yeah,
you know, I know the Jets said they're all out on Rex Ryan.
hmm
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, why bring back someone you've already fired?
try to relive it.
But at the
Yeah,
same time, that was the last time the Jets were a relevant team.
right.
I mean, they made 2 AFC championship games with Rex Ryan. So and he wanted to be there.
Yeah,
He seems like he really loves the New York Jets. So I mean,
can't be
I
any
think
worse
that's
than the situation now.
yeah, I think it's a possible mistake in my opinion. You know, he would have had that defense playing top notch again.
The Jets,
You got a lot of key players on the offensive side of the ball. If he would have hired a competent offensive coordinator, this Jets team could do a real turnaround. But
yeah.
they decided not to go with Rex. Mike Vrabel going
I think that,
home.
I think the Jets wanted Vrabel,
They did
and
want Vrabel. I seen they
and
put a
as soon as they said they had a good interview, less than a couple days later, now he's the Pats coach. They were like, "Nah, man, you can't have him. We're taking him now."
well, yeah. I mean, the chances were always that he was going to go home. I mean,
Right.
to go coach the team that you had so much success with. I mean, that's a dream come true. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Any other tidbits on that?
Let's see. 3-time Super Bowl champion. He had a head coach record of 56-48, 2-3 in the postseason. So I mean, it's not bad. 2020, 2021 AFC South champs. So that's gonna be good for the Pats. It's gonna be good. Gonna be amazing.
And I heard they might bring in the old offensive coordinator McDaniel too. So
Mm.
maybe have a new young Bill Belichick. Maybe if Vrabel brings the old school mixed with the new school. You bring back Bill's offensive coordinator. You got the quarterback. You got a top draft pick. Look for these Pats to be considerably better next year.
Dynasty restarted.
Then where's that leave my Fins? You know what I mean? Like the Jets have a talented team if they can get the right coaching. You know, the Patriots are going to be considerably better. Where's that leave my team?
Not good.
I mean, we don't. How many games that we got to play the guessing game? How many games is Tua playing this year? You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
for what reason is he going to miss a game this year? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Just a nightmare situation, but it
Yeah,
is what it.
quarterback's always the worst situation. You can replace receivers, you can replace linemen, but man, finding that quarterback who you believe in, and that's tough. That's tough. And then you could sit there and believe in somebody for multiple years before you realize I just wasted 3 or 4 years of my life believing in this dude. It's crazy.
And then
It's
we got
crazy.
the Tyreek Hill drama to deal with still. Oh man.
I know. You guys do got a lot going on. But Giants ain't in any better boat other than a third pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't have a massive contract with Tyreek, and so I guess we are in a better situation at the moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna start breaking all that stuff down very soon. Start breaking down the draft, breaking down salary caps for each and every team. Gonna do probably division by division, honestly, and we'll break down every team. You know, as soon as these, well, I'll probably start work on it before then. But as soon as these playoffs are over, we'll start putting those videos out. But yeah, as soon as I get the studio done, I can really put some work in. So you guys message the co-host and tell them they come on down and help out Big C.
Come on down. You're the next contestant. I'll build my room.
We're gonna do before and after video shots too. It's gonna be I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like the vibe. It's gonna be cool.
I'm gonna put my before and after shots in there.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Oh man.
There's no curtains. Someone's gonna see you. It's all
It's
windows.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Any closing statements before we go catch this game that's going on right now?
I
what the score
know
is?
it is 10-3 Rams. 12 minutes and 13 minutes to go in the second.
Okay.
So it's a good one. Thanks for kicking it with us on the Blitz episode 44. I love you guys. Please remember, like, share, subscribe, comment. We are brought to you by Game Changers Media. And yeah, ever want to jump in? The links are always in the chat. Come in, chat with us. Appreciate those of you that stop by and those of you that will watch this in the future. Enjoy your playoffs. We'll see you Wednesday.
Yeah, please help us grow. If you check out the video or you stop in, it takes 2 seconds to hit that like button. It's so critical that you guys help us out by doing that, especially starting off. I mean, if you got 700 people in the chat, I mean, the difference between 725 likes and 700 likes ain't that big a deal. But right now, when we got a limited amount of people stopping through, we need as many likes as we can get. So please help us out, help us grow, help us continue to get better. Trust me, you're gonna love the stuff that we got coming. We don't just have the I mean, it's gonna be sports themed, but we don't just got this coming. We got some skits coming, some humorous stuff. We got some good stuff coming. So give us a chance, give us an opportunity, like the channel, and help a brother out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do it, man. Just do it. It's not that difficult.
Also, for our skits, I even said it. If you're a fan from a team that maybe isn't the Dolphins or the Giants, and you have an old jersey or an old team T-shirt that you're willing to donate, send it our way. Let us know. You'll see why. We got some skits coming, but we need some stuff to do these skits. So let us know. Let us know what you got. If you got anything that can help us out along those lines. And shoot, even an old team hat or
Right. And I'm a Giants fan. He's a Dolphins fan. If you're a football fan, I know y'all ain't just only fans of football here. So you got to know somebody that likes the Dolphins or the Giants. Let them know. Yo, watch this show. Please like, share, subscribe. You can share other places too. You ain't got to just do it on here. Believe that.
Yeah, we like to go back and forth, people. We like to have a little bit of conflict on here. Man, we say something you don't like, come tell us about it. Or if you got a hot take, come tell us about it, and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
I'll just tell you to piss off.
Like Gordon Ramsay's voice. Piss off.
Piss off.
This world's all is terrible.
Piss off. My bacon's cold.
All right. Until next time, folks, we'll see you Wednesday for another episode of The Blitz. I'm your host, Big C. You know Mike Jones. We'll be back Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you for joining The Blitz.
Please have your kids spayed and neutered.
Fins up. Hey!